In this video, we'll be going over the Synchronized player in the Sentry VMS Client. So first, let's log into the client. Let me show you where you can launch the Synchronized player. We have an icon here directly below the word Help that will launch the Synchronized player. We can also do that from the Tools menu. Click on Tools, click on Synchronized player. Either one will work. So let's launch the player. What you get is a blank slate that you can drag and drop cameras from the left-hand navigation tree. So I'm going to pick 4 cameras. And as you can see at the bottom, their timeline begins to populate. I'm going to pick a prior date so we can get a full population of that timeline. And there we have it. Okay, what I've done here is I've changed the time selection so that you can see all 4 cameras have got images now. And what will happen is, as there's motion detected throughout, and that's what you see these blue lines and blue boxes are, they will show the corresponding images in that quadrant, in this particular case, for that camera. Okay, and when we move the timeline, that shifts the images in the camera. It also goes to a different part of the recorded video in order to pull up the images that you see now. And simply by clicking in any given point in time, the cameras will resynchronize, and the player will pick up where you're dropping the vertical bar. Assuming there's motion there, it will show actual motion in the image that the camera is displaying. If not, you won't see any motion detected there at all, and it will wait until it hits one of those blue lines in the synchronized player in order to pick up the action from that moment. Now at the very bottom here, there's a scroll bar which allows you to slide back and forth. This covers a 24-hour time period. On the day that you have selected in the left side here I can pull up a calendar, and I can go back at any point in time, depending on how much storage I have and how many videos I've decided to keep. That will depend on what you're able to see at any given time. These controls allow you to pause the video, start the video. This one will play it at normal speed. This one will play it at normal speed backwards. And these 2 outer ones will actually decrease the speed or increase the speed of the played video. So for example, if I click on increase speed, you'll notice at the top here and also at the bottom of the window, the play speed now shows 1.5. If I click again, it'll go to 2, then 5, then 10 times normal speed, 16 times normal speed, 32, 64, and that's the maximum. That's pretty fast. But if you're going through a whole bunch of video, that will allow you to scan very, very quickly with your eyes and see exactly what parts of that video you want to investigate further. And simply by clicking the normal speed button, we'll return it back to normal speed. Now we can do the exact same thing in reverse. Clicking decrease speed takes it down to half speed. 0.2, this would be 20% of normal speed. -1 is now going backwards at normal speed. 5 times reverse, 10 times reverse, 16, 32, 64 times reverse, as shown by the negative sign in front of it. And again, simply by clicking normal speed, you revert the player back to normal. This button allows you to export a synchronized video clip. This is the coolest part of the synchronized video player. What this allows you to do is export an AVI file that contains everything you see here and allows you to slide the time bar back and forth in Windows Media Player to find the exact spot you're interested in. So in this particular case, we're going to export this video in the AVI file format. Now, depending on the amount of video you have stored, will determine how long this takes. It also will change based on this value here, compiled image resolution. Normal is 1280 by 960, as you see on the screen. There's also a low res. There's also a higher resolution image. And keep in mind, that changes the actual file size, which also changes the amount of time it takes to save it to whatever the destination folder you have specified up here. So here we're saving it to our desktop, and this will take a moment before that file gets completely saved. And our file export is now complete. So click OK. I'm going to do that one more time to show you a couple of other options. So the compiled image resolution, here you have 2 other choices. 640 by 480, which is low resolution, but it'll save much quicker, and it'll be a much smaller file size. And that could be the highest resolution you really need for whatever it is you're saving the file for. However, if you need the highest resolution you can generate, pick the high one at 2560 by 1920. Just be aware that depending on the number of lines you see in the timeline at the bottom of the screen determines the number of times the camera is actually recording motion, which in turn determines the size of this file. At the highest resolution, you may want to order dinner because it may take that long to save this file. But you will have the highest resolution possible in the images that you see in the Synchronized player. Also, there is a second option when saving the file. You could also do what's called a multi-day export that you see here. By checking off this box, first of all, you get this error message. Spanning too large of a time frame may make the resultant file unusable. The reason for that is it covers multiple days of exporting video. The reason why you get that warning message is if the file size is too large, Windows may have a hard time opening it, and certain operating systems, based on their file system, may not be able to open it at all. So be aware of that. Plus the fact it will take a very, very long time to save that file. But this is great if you need to span several days worth of video and you want to do it in one file. This is the way to do that. Okay, now that we've saved the file, let's take a look at how it looks in Windows Media Player. So here we have that fully exported file being playable in Windows Media Player, and simply by moving this bar, I can change the time, I can go to different sections. Okay, now you'll notice that this upper right one has no video in it. That means at the time we've specified, right now 3 minutes and 9 seconds into the video, there was nothing to play at that moment. This could be one of those cameras where you only get brief shots of motion. However, somewhere down here, as you can see, there was motion there. And further on down, the scenes change within those other camera quadrants. So this is a great way to be able to save what you've put together in the Synchronized player in order to keep those videos in sync from an external source. And this file, as an AVI file, can then be transported, used, even transcoded into another file format for whatever it is that you need. All right, let's take one last look at our Synchronized player. And just to review, let's take a look at the top of the screen. This is where it shows you your video playing speed. It shows the current date and time of the videos as you're watching them, which should correspond to the yellow vertical bar here. Your controls on the lower left corner, decreasing speed, playing synchronized video backwards, pausing and then restarting video, playing it at normal speed, and also increasing the speed. And this last icon is to export the synchronized video clip, which is what we did earlier. You can also select the date that you wish to see synchronized video for, and you'll see that your cameras are listed here on the left side in the order that you drag them onto the blank window. Just so you know, there is a maximum of 9 videos that you can, 9 cameras I should say, that you can drag onto the blank window and use in the Synchronized player. 9 is the max, but that should be more than sufficient for anything you may need to use. And that's an overview of the Synchronized player in the Sentry VMS Client. To find out more, please go to our website at ipvideocorp.com. You can also find more about us as a company and the other things that we do and our other products as well. Thanks for watching.